We're back with more conference play here at the John A. Paulson Center, where the NYU men's basketball looks to face off against the UChicago Maroons. And, alongside Spencer Myers, my name is Brian Sanchez, here to provide you coverage as we get you started with these starting lineups for today's game.
For the visiting UChicago Maroons, it will be senior guard Joe Barry, graduate guard Shane Regan, sophomore forward Daniel Cochran, graduate guard Nick Roper, and junior forward Noah Pitt.
And for the Violets, it'll be a graduate guard Darren Rumen, a junior guard Carnegie Johnson, a graduate center Luke Collegier, graduate forward Quinn Clark, and the senior guard Brian Musako as we get ready for tip-off here. As we mentioned before, snow day here in New York City, but the basketball continues on, and both sides have something to fight for here in this contest. Of course, UChicago come into this game 20-3. Excellent in UAA play, 10-2 in conference play. One of their two losses coming to this Violets team, and the Maroons looking to capture that UAA throne as Collegier wins the tip, and we are off here in New York City as Carnegie Johnson gets us started. Looking for Ruben here on the wing. Good trail there by Collegier. Has a matchup he wants inside. Looking for the opening. Collegier gets it to go with the floater. Violets up early, 2-0.
And how about UChicago's biggest loss of the season was against this NYU team. They lost by 21 points. NYU led the entirety of that game. Luke Collegier, 21 points. Andrew Waldman, 16 points off the bench, 4 for 4 from 3. His absence, see how that affects the game today.
As UChicago has a response, that's Shane Regan, who led the charge for the Maroons in their win against Brandeis with 22 points, 9 for 17 from the field. Here's Ruben, wants the response. Nice feed inside to Clark, adjusting and getting the layup to fall with the left. The Violets working the ball inside early. Nice distribution of offense in these first couple of possessions for the Violets. Good ball movement, opting to work the ball inside. Here's Barry. Looking for the opening, has in the top of the key. And that three won't go. And we'll stay UChicago ball. So, foul will go against Carnegie Johnson. So, away from the ball. So, UChicago, they're awarded with possession. Chance to tie it here early. Pitt. Top of the key. Three. Yes! Nothing but net there. UChicago takes the lead. 5-4.
Nice ball movement there from the Maroons. Find the open look.
That was Cochran with the first three of the game. And another turnover here. This one, the second of the game for the Violets. Quinn Clark, the culprit.
Sloppy ball handling there from the Violets.
Joe Barry, one of the best ball handlers in the UAA, and does a really good job of distributing the ball. 4 assists. Good there. Good off-ball cut. Musako, and he is pushed down to the floor, but no call as Roper able to get the little floater game to fall. Lead up the 3 for UChicago.
Big height mismatch there. Roper able to take advantage.
Here's Collegier, wants a mismatch himself. And that tough jumper is no good. Good job there by Reagan holding his ground. And this time he wants to attack. In the wing 3. That one bounced everywhere but in the basket. As UChicago unable to extend their lead. Here's Ruben attacking downfield, mid-range. Good. With a bucket there early by Darren Ruben. And that's his bread and butter. He loves attacking downhill. Here's Johnson who gets the steal. As Ruben will put it up from downtown, and that is pure from the corner. Excellent effort there by Carnegie Johnson getting the steal, and Ruben quickly rewarding him there with the lead for the Violets.
The dynamic backcourt duo of Carnegie Johnson and Darren Ruben.
And this is a beautiful sight for Coach Fareed. You want to get your two dynamic guards, as you just call them, Spencer, going early, especially from downtown where there's been struggles throughout the season. Here's Roper. And that's miscommunication. The pass intended for Cochran and will go the other way.
And in their matchup in January, Carnegie Johnson did not play in that game. He was out with a leg injury. So his first look at UChicago as a part of this NYU team.
Here's Carnegie looking for Clark at the top of the key. Nice screen there by Clark. And Rubin forced to take a tough mid-range bucket, but it's good. Rubin once again getting to his spots and converting. Lead up to 4 for the Violets. And like you mentioned before, Spencer, the Violets are without Darius Aquazi, the Princeton transfer, and Andrew Waldman, so 2 forwards. And that layup attempt is on. Oh, what the follow-up, though, from Cochran there to cut the lead down to 2. But as we were mentioning before, Violets short-handed at the forward position, but we'll see how they can adjust. Here's Rubin. Nice feed inside as Koleje is fouled.
Great look from Rubin. Really looks to be in control in the offensive end thus far. 3 for 3 from the field. Nice pass there.
As we'll have our first time out of the game, and we'll be right back after this short break. So we're back a little under 16 minutes remaining of action here in this first half. Violets up 2 with a chance of 2 more at the line here for Luke Koleje. And what seems to be a really good start offensively, 83% for the field for a team that has had some mishaps shooting the ball. But today, none of that to start off this game as Koleje connects on the first. And for Koleje, in the last game, he went 5 for 14 from the field, 12 points, but uncharacteristic 0 for 4 from downtown. So we'll see if he can get his offense going after a 32-point game performance against Emory. Lead up to 4 with those 2 Koleje free throws. UChicago looking to get it going.
Bit of a height mismatch here.
That's Reagan driving on Johnson, looking for the open 3. And that is no good once again. And UChicago can't come down with it, as that is Pitt unable to secure the offensive board. So Carnegie Johnson, Darren Rubin remain on the floor for the Violets.
And those 2 guards lead the team in scoring.
Rubin curling. Good 2-man game between Rubin and Quinn Clark. And just beautiful off-ball movement by Clark there to cut in. Rubin just finding the open man. Wide open 3 in the corner. The response, yes, you got it. There is UChicago getting it done from the corner. 3-point game. It's a huge 3 there for the Maroons. Cut the lead down to 3. Here's Carnegie Johnson. Wants Musako top of the key. Right back to Rubin. Rubin has some isolation work he can get to. Nice double inside. Clark can't keep the ball. And right there, turnover from the Violets. UChicago on the break. Good palm fake there by Reagan. Had Carnegie Johnson in the air. An easy 2 awarded.
Pass just a bit too high from Rubin on that last NYU possession.
Here's Rubin once again. Nice feed inside to College. Active awareness and unable to put up the shot attempt. Here's Johnson. Good job by UChicago bringing the good switch. Oh, Darren Rubin from the parking lot, but that one won't go. Rubin with the heat check right there. Unable to extend this Violet's lead all the way inside. That's a tough inside layup with the left, rather, by Reagan. He now has 6. Here's Rubin, and that pass almost picked off by Reagan. Musako from the wing. That one won't go.
Shane Regan, a New York native, by way of Rye Country Day.
Reagan thought about the 3. Instead, ups to go to Berry. And that will be a foul against the Violets away from the ball. Off the facial expression, looks like it's on Musako.
It'll be Bickford and Daniels checking in for the Violets. Bickford hit a couple big threes in Friday night's matchup against WashU.
You usually see Bickford come in later in the first half, but like you said, off that performance from downtown, Coach Farid awarding him with earlier minutes. Here's Reagan. Also, Alex Daniels checked in as well. That 3 misses everything there for Noah Pitt. But UChicago able to maintain possession. Still a 1-point game as it stands. UChicago up 1. Little over 13 minutes remaining. 3-pointer. That's good from the wing. Noah Pitt able to respond after the air ball. 4-point game. Here's Bickford getting his first touches on the ball. Finds Johnson driving. Good job by Reagan keeping his feet set. Here's Daniels trying to get in his bag. Feeds Bickford from the top of the key, and that one won't go. Short. Rebound, Roper. And Roper gonna attack the smaller defender in Johnson and forced to readjust. Can't get the bucket to fall. Ball in everyone's hands, but it ends in possession of the Violets. Here's Daniels trying to attack downhill. Daniels 2 steps, and that one in. Tough bucket there by Alex Daniels. Cuts the lead down to 2.
Great move from Daniels over Philip Lawrence of UChicago.
Daniels a master at knowing when to change pace, especially when driving to the rim. And those slow step, if you play basketball, you know it's just so crucial. Here's Roper from downtown. That one won't go from the corner. Good board there by Reagan, who wants to put it up. Met with 2 defenders at the rim. Getting his first minutes of the game is Lawrence. Lawrence, nice crossover. Loses Johnson, but picks up Daniels. Here's Reagan driving. Looking for the tough bucket inside. Somehow finds Roper, and that possession looked like it was going nowhere. Instead, it ends with 2 points in UChicago's favor.
Great hang time there to switch from the shot attempt to the last second pass.
Violets need a response. Down 4. Here's Daniels looking for Johnson there on the deep wing. Mismatch quickly. Daniels from downtown. That one won't go. Back iron. And that's going to go the other way. Excellent distribution from the Violets, using and absorbing the contact there, as we'll be right back after this media timeout.
welcome back out of this timeout. Something that head coach Waleed Fareed for the Violets says all the time is he gives the energy that the team needs. If they're too amped up, he's going to bring them back down to earth, and if they need a little help, he's going to be yelling on the sidelines. Right now, we definitely see that he's bringing that energy and trying to get his team to do what he knows they can do. They're feeling confident going into this game, but after the loss on Friday, they definitely need to work just a little smoother and be really on their game to get this win today. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Sydney, and with that, we welcome you back to the game. A little over 11 minutes remaining. Violets down 4. Both sides have 2 fouls to their name, and the Violets looking to put together some pieces of offense to cut down into this lead. Here's Musako. He wanted the 3, instead will drive baseline. Looking for the opening. There is Daniels. Rubin opts to slow it down. He wants the isolation. Instead, forced to pick up his dribble. There's Daniels, top of the key. College, that's Sigurdsson rather, and floater is no good. David versus Goliath there in the paint, but Lawrence got that win.
I was eyeing that matchup the whole possession. Sigurdsson posting up the smaller Waterman. Maybe if able to get the ball to Sigurdsson on that matchup just a bit sooner in the shot clock, perhaps a different result. That time the Maroons win the matchup.
Chicago looking to extend their lead on this possession here. Here's Lawrence. Lawrence from way downtown. That one won't go, but the rebound is with Smith. And right there, Sigurdsson needs to do a better job at boxing out. Chicago struggling to move the ball right now. Here's Smith, right back to Roper from way downtown. That one won't go. Daniels comes down with it. Here's Rubin in transition. Rubin, wide open lane. That closes down rather quickly. Here's Clark from the corner. Oh yeah, that goes. 1 point game.
Only Clark's third made 3 of the season. Cuts the lead down to 1.
You know, it's something you also want to see a lot more from him. Just be more aggressive because he gets to his spots. Here's Lawrence from that baseline mid-range, but it won't go. Daniels pushing the pace. Finds Musako, no hesitation, and that one won't go. Back iron. Clark just puts it up, but that's an offensive foul, no? Oh, no. Basket won't count, rather.
Good rebound and unselfish pass.
Yeah.
From Sigurdsson.
Clark will have 2 at the line now as the Violets will look to extend their 1 point lead. The Violets really didn't shoot the 3 ball well at all in their last game against Chicago. 3 for 15, which is just 20%. So just to see them shooting the ball today much better at a more efficient rate is already a good sign of the adjustments made by Coach Fareed. Here's Pitt on the wing. Deep 3. That goes! Chicago with the response up 2.
Cochran 4 for 6 from behind the arc.
That's one guy you don't want to get going as Rubin gets the response all the way.
Oh, the downhill speed from Darren Rubin.
Game all tied up, 24 apiece. As Chicago takes a 3, that one won't go. Daniels with the board with a chance to push the pace here in transition. Here's Rubin on the wing. Clark trying to give him the screen. Tied up. That one picked off. That was Cochran there. He thought about the 3, trying to work on Sigurdsson. Wing, Reagan, no. As Rubin will start to slow it down. Little under 8 minutes remaining. Tie game. Here's Rubin. Trying to work his magic. Daniels using the Sigurdsson screen. Right back to Johnson. Off-ball movement, stagnant. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Here's Daniels. Puts it up. And that one won't go. Rebound, Cochran.
Chicago won for their last 6.
Here's Reagan driving with the left and connecting. Lead taken here by the Maroons, up 2. Here's Rubin. He asked for Daniels to come closer to the ball. Daniels finds Clark there on the wing, looking for an opening. Heinz Gertzen there, top of the key. Trailing, Rubin. 3, that one, no good, short. And that hit Daniels' legs, and Johnson diving for it, but it will go the other way. Hope Johnson is all right. Has had injuries with that lower leg that he's dealt with earlier in the season, but he looks to be all right, as we'll be right back after this short timeout. Fareed complaining for a call. So we're back with a little under 7 minutes remaining of action here in this first half. U Chicago has the lead, but by a very minimal margin, just 2 points, where the Violets look to have their offense ignited in a much better way than how they were playing against WashU on Friday. And this would be a huge confidence booster for the Violets, who look to have good seeding, finishing out the regular season for a good spot in the tournament, as the ball was everywhere but ends in the hands of Johnson. Here's Musako from 3. Do you got it, Musako? Yes, you do! How could I ever doubt you from that wing?
Ben Chasen in the game for the Maroons.
Lead taken by the Violets. Johnson in the air, and that is in the hands of Clark, who dove there on that loose ball. Here's Musako the other way, looking for Koleje. Koleje finds Rubin. Opts to not use his screen. And Rubin, tough mid-range bucket, and that misses everything. Might have been a lot of contact. Johnson somehow comes down with it. Musako has his man in the air. Johnson from the corner. Yes, sir! That goes. All of a sudden, the Violets firing from downtown.
Johnson's first bucket of the afternoon.
And it comes in a timely manner as well. Here's Cochran, met with 2 in the paint from downtown. Not with the response, it's U Chicago. That was Chasen who missed. Musako, another one. That one won't go. Lead still at 4. Here's Reagan. Trying to work Musako inside, left hand, yes! 2-point game. Good response there by U Chicago to cut the lead down. Johnson wants a screen, instead goes to Clark. Curling Rubin. Good ball movement here from the Violets, but they need some more off ball. Here is Rubin. Has a mismatch here. 4 on the shot clock. Rubin getting to his bag. Mid-range shot is no good.
Very tough shot over the taller defender for Darren Rubin. Not necessarily a high percentage look there for the Violets.
U Chicago come down the other way. Reagan from way downtown. That one won't go. Musako battled for the board, and that's going to go the other way. As the battle from Moose on the boards is rewarded as he's fouled. And a couple of changes as Ruben will check out of this game. Daniels will make his way back to the floor. So good game we have on our hands so far. Only a 2-point game, rather close contest. A little over 4 minutes remaining. Here's Moose. Ball movement prevalent here. Driving inside, showing off the strength. As Clark looks to work his way inside, and bucket will go for QC.
Team high 11 points for Quinn Clark. Beautiful move to get inside there.
And like we were saying before, Clark looks to be more aggressive in this game than we usually see him, and it's really rewarding the Violets. Might have not been on the scouting report for that. Barry from downtown. Oh, yeah! 1-point game.
Yeah, down a few forwards are the Violets, so Clark stepping up.
Here's Moose finding Daniels down the wing. Good job there, recognizing the mismatch as College makes the Maroons pay for that defensive matchup. Lead up to 3 for the Violets so far. A little over 3 minutes remaining. Here's Lawrence. Good defense on the perimeter by Daniels. Pitt looking for Barry there on the wing. Barry, and another 3. That one goes. Barry says that's too much space. Sinks down another tray.
Wide open look there for Barry.
Yeah, the guy who just hit a 3 moments ago. Not the best defensive luck there from the Violets. Here's College finding Daniels. Daniels has a bucket in this one so far. Here's QC looking for Moose. Daniels attacking. 3 on the shot clock. Daniels. That one won't go. As Clark able to get the rebound. Johnson puts it up, puts it in. So Violets up to a little over 2 minutes remaining as timeout is called, and we'll be right back after this short break. So we're back here, a little over 2 minutes remaining, and you know, good game as it stands so far. 2-point lead for the Violets.
We have number 5 checking in, Garcia. He's a freshman. It's interesting that Coach Farid is putting him in so early in the game. What do you guys think?
No doubt about it. You know, Chase Garcia has been getting a lot more minutes these last couple of games. Here's Reagan trying to bully College, and does. Tie game from Chicago.
This really is a team that does well in these high-pressure situations like a tie, so I'm excited to see what they can do going out of the half.
Here's Moose on the ball, trying to work Lawrence right back to Bickford. Here's Daniels driving inside, spinning, looking for the opening. There's Garcia. Daniels. They got 5 in the shot clock. Daniels What do you got? Loses the handle, 2 seconds. Daniels got to put it up and puts it in. Daniels ice cold. Someone check his pulse.
Great defense from Barry to strip Daniels at seemingly the last second. Daniels still able to get the shot up. Great poise to give the Violets a 1-possession lead.
What a shot there by Alex Daniels, but even better here by Cochran, who had his man in the air and will have 2 at the line.
Coach Farid fuming on the sideline. Defense got a bit lost there.
I think they were so hyped up from that Daniels 3. Three-point game as it stands, as Cochran can't hit the first. A little over a minute remaining. The Violets have done well offensively, shooting 55% from the field, 5 for 12 from downtown. Here's Daniels, he wants a screen here from College. Instead goes to Rubin on the wing. Good passing here from the Violets. 48 seconds left on the game clock. Here's Rubin trying to get to work. And he almost stepped out of bounds. There's Musako driving, spinning, finding Rubin from downtown. No, he won't shoot it. He'll go all the way inside and can't get to finish the fall, but will be a foul. Wow, late foul called. As Pitt is just, he has his hands up, saying that there's no call there. So Rubin now has a chance at 2 at the line.
Nice aggressive drive from Darren Rubin to get inside.
Rubin able to connect there on the first free throw attempt. And Rubin able to connect there on the second.
Chase Garcia will check in for Rubin. Carnegie Johnson still on the bench for the Violets.
Here's Lawrence, finds Barry there, way far on the wing. That's Chase Garcia, the freshman, on the coverage. Here's Pitt. Chicago opts to slow it down. Farid calling from the sideline to his players. Here's Reagan trying to get his bag, has Moose in the air. Good cut by Reagan, and one! Quite the way to end the first half of a beautiful off-ball movement read there by Reagan. You dump off the pass, Musako in the air, make sure and get a cut in. There's too much contact there on the layup attempt as Reagan chance with another one. 14 points on the game so far.
Beautiful give and go between Shane Regan and Joe Barry. High IQ play to dish it off while your man's in the air. Cut right to the basket.
Here's Carnegie. Daniels forced to put it up, and that one won't go as the Violets escape the first half with a narrow 2-point lead, and a good first half offensively for the Violets, to say the least, who coming into that first half in their last game were trailing. Instead now will lead Chicago. As we get ready to send it down to our sideline reporter Sydney, who has the men's basketball assistant coach Thompson here with an update on the strategy change.
Yeah, thanks guys. I'm here with Coach Thompson. What adjustments are you looking to make in the second half to pull away with this win?
I think we gave them a few easy looks that we know on the scout we can't. Cochran's a driller as a shooter, and he had a few open looks. Regan gets downhill that deep. Nobody in the country can stop him. We can't let him get downhill that far.
Coming out of a loss like Friday, what was the energy going into it, and how are you kind of taming that into this game?
We're a determined group, but we have to be determined for 40 minutes here, and so that's the goal for the next 20.
Thank you so much. Good luck. Back to you guys.
With that, we'll send it to a break, and we get back to the second half after a short one. So second half of action is back here at the Paulson Center as we get ready to return to more basketball action as the Violets will lead UChicago up 2.
For UChicago, it's Shane Regan leading the way with a game-high 14 points on an efficient 7 of 9 from the field. And for the Violets, Quinn Clark and Darren Rubin both with 11. Carnegie Johnson, the leading scorer, has been quiet for the Violets, just 5 points thus far.
As UChicago gets it started once again here with possession. Here's Roper, has a mismatch inside and finds Cochran. Wow, this is some beautiful cross-court passing here from the Maroons. Here's Barry driving his way inside. Regan, 3 over Clark, but that one won't go. And good board there by Carnegie Johnson. Here's Rubin trying to work Cochran. Works his way inside. There's College, has his man pit in the air. Take flight, College. Nice inside hand layup falls as NYU able to extend their lead to 4.
College cuts to that 3-point range. Got to respect the pump fake. Able to get that quick first step off of it. Nice finish.
With that, College has 8. Here's Roper trying to manage Johnson on the mismatch and cannot get it to go. 3 attempts and third time's the charm for Roper.
Good active hands on the offensive glass.
Here's Moose, thought about the 3. Instead looks for the opening as he picks up his dribble. Almost threw an interception there as Johnson picks up his dribble. Looking for College there. Sets the screen. Johnson has a mismatch here on Roper. Here's Moose. Driving inside. Forced to put it up here is Johnson. Wide open look. Oh yeah! That falls for Carnegie Johnson from the wing. And all of a sudden, the Violets starting to get it going offensively coming out of that halftime break.
Great awareness by Johnson to know he had an extra second or 2 on the shot clock to take that pump fake.
As Roper can't get the reverse layup to fall. Bodies on the ground. Johnson charging through the hardwood. Coast to coast with the right hand. Oh yes, that goes.
Very awkward collision there on the other end. Roper grabbing at his face just a bit. It seems to be all right.
Lead up to 7 with that Carnegie Johnson layup in transition. UChicago looking to formulate a response. Here's Reagan, bullying his way inside with that nice floater. That will fall. 5-point game as it stands, and we'll be right back after this short break. We're back with a little under 17 minutes and 30 seconds of action here in this second half. Violets had their lead cut down to 5 with the floater from Shane Regan. As it's been a good offensive performance so far from the Violets. Very different in comparison to their last matchup as oh wow, what a feed inside. College unable to connect there on the pass, and here comes UChicago on the break. Regan turning on the Jets all the way inside, a no kill, good, and Pitt got the dunk.
Bench pop for the Maroons there. Great play by Pitt with the follow-through dunk.
Here's Moose. Thought about the College screen. Instead, it's Rubin. This is the mismatch he likes from way downtown. And that one won't go. Battle for the board. Maseko on the floor. Roper got it. Here's Regan finding Barry. And Chicago opts to slow down the offense. Regan from downtown. That goes from the parking lot. Shane Regan show off the range.
And Noah Pitt had the mismatch down low. Darian Rubin was guarding him. Maybe 6 or 7 inches height differential there, but great three from Shane Regan.
Here's College A feeding off to the curling Johnson. Game all of a sudden tied at 48. Here's Johnson, mid-range pull. That one won't go. Rebound Regan. Now Regan turning on the Jets the other way. Regan initiating contact, almost fell. Good job by Clark. And Pitt can't get it to go. Clark with the board. Violets with numbers. Here's Moose on the wing. Driving his way inside. Moose. And that's going to be a foul called against U Chicago. Barry the culprit and Moose. So another timeout called here. And we'll be right back after a short break. So after a maroon run, it's all of a sudden a tie game here. 48 apiece.
Garcia and Sigurdsson back in for the Violets.
Garcia inbounds the ball to Clark. Here's Daniels trying to dictate traffic. Looking for an open man. The curling player there is Garcia. Moose thought about the three. Instead feeds to Sigurdsson. 2 on the shot clock. Sigurdsson can't get it to go. As Roper able to secure the board.
How about the defense from Roper, able to stick with Musako?
What a pass there by Regan. Oh, Barry slipped. Almost out of bounds. Yeah, passing a little hectic here for U Chicago. Here's Roper. And wow, he was trying to catch a body there inside. Said he's fouled, and we'll have 2 at the line.
Blew right by Sigurdsson on the closeout.
Roper able to connect there on the first free throw attempt. And Roper had a good contribution in their last game against Brandeis. 11 points, apologies, 10 points, 4 for 6 from the field, but unable to get it going from downtown as he connects on both his free throw attempts, and U Chicago has snatched the lead back. Here's QC. Driving on Pitt. Looking for the opening there is Garcia. Trying to use the pivot work. Daniels makes his move inside. QC with a good cut, but that is foul going against U Chicago. QC will have 2 at the line. So Violets have a chance here to reclaim the lead. They're able to take advantage of these 2 opportunities at the charity stripe.
Philip Lawrence will check in for U Chicago. First substitution for the Maroons of the second half.
As Clark is able to get the first to fall. And we'll split a pair at the line, so the lead will remain in U Chicago's favor as Lawrence tries to get the offense going. Here's Barry, curling Regan. Trying to work Musako inside. Musako not letting up. Musako said, where's the foul? So the culprit clear as day, Moose, as he is unhappy with that call, will stay U Chicago ball. Good inbound there for Regan. Inside, fading away. Oh, yeah. Another tough bucket here from U Chicago. 3-point lead as it stands. NYU need a bucket in a big way here to end this run. Colajay finds Garcia. That's going to be a foul against the Violets. A huge change of momentum here. A little over midpoint of this second half.
Coach Fareed not happy with the call.
Wow, and automatic free throw there. Might have been a technical. Is Regan able to get the first fall? Is Regan able to connect with those 2 free throws?
Was indeed a technical foul called on NYU.
So lead has grown to 5 for the Maroons, as the Violets will look to cut into this lead on this possession here. Johnson finds Colajay there on the wing. 3 on the shot clock. Daniels has to put it up, and that he does. But that one was, the shot was before, apologies, after the shot clock expired. As Ruben will check in immediately for Daniels. U Chicago looking to extend the lead so far. Lawrence has 0 points scored so far. Barry pushing. Lawrence attacking the basket. Mid-range is no good. Back iron. As Garcia comes the other way for the Violets, as Johnson just slipped. And he's quick to get up, which is always a good sign.
And if you are an NYU student watching the game, classes have just been called remote for tomorrow. So happy snow day.
Love to hear that, a little snow day. Here comes Johnson. And he can't get the bucket to fall. Late on the rim for the Violets. Regan down the other way as he loses the handle, and wow, that one sent back to Washington Square by Bickford.
Great defense from Carnegie Johnson, just sliding with Regan.
Number 24, replace number 5, Chase Garcia, with the lineup.
Musako back in the game for Garcia. Open 3.
That was Barry there from the top of the key. Largest lead of the afternoon for the Maroons, 8-point game.
An off an inbound pass to have that open to look from 3. Surely some miscommunications going on for the Violets defensively.
College just lost the handle, but a foul called against Roper. So the Violets will remain with possession. So a very lucky break there if you're NYU. Here's Johnson finding Moose there on that corner. Moose driving on Lawrence, almost loses his footing, forced to kick it out to Bigford. Rubin from way downtown. That goes! Rubin! Huge bucket there from the Violets to cut the lead down to 5.
Rubin had 17 last time out against the Maroons, right now with 14.
Here's Pitt from the wing. The response! Oh, yes. Lead right back up to 8 for UChicago. Here's Bickford. Nice feed inside, and forced to commit the foul there is Barry as he had lost good position. And we'll be right back after this media timeout.
Coming back out of this timeout, I will say Coach Fareed is giving the guys the pep talk they need to get back into it. From down on the floor, things are getting a lot more physical, definitely closing that gap. They're putting in some taller players to try to match Chicago's tall roster. And the guys are really prioritizing communication. I hear them calling plays to each other much more than usual. So we'll see what they have in store for this end of the game. Back to you.
Thank you, Sydney. As Collegiate, good cut! Oh my goodness, take flight! So Sydney gave Collegiate some good luck there. Immediately there, Collegiate rewards the Violets with a nasty dunk, which is definitely making the highlight reel. Yeah, that dunk was so good, you got to put that on your resume. Here's Reagan. Force to pass it to Barry in the corner. That shot, oh, clean. Cleaner than a laundromat.
And Musako fell down there. I think he was hoping for a offensive charge call.
Here's Moose all the way inside. Can't get the bucket to fall, but we'll have 2 at the line. Moose only has 3 points in the contest so far, but has been making contributions on other ends of the basketball. Lead currently at 9, chance to make it 7. As Moose able to connect there on the first. So Moose doesn't really get to the line often, but when he does, he is a pretty good free throw shooter. As Moose splits a pair at the line. Spoke too soon there. 8-point game. Barry trying to make it 10, and he does not do so, but comes up with his own board. Here's Moose. Take charge, Moose. Let's go. Good bucket, and that goes.
With the steal in the basket, that's number 24, Moose on the way.
Love to see Moose taking the initiative there, just putting your head down and just charging down the hardwood like a dark horse. Here's Cochran. Inside, looking for Roper, and that is good with a soft touch. Lead back up to 8. Both sides battling.
Big mismatch there in the paint. Roper on Johnson.
Yeah, he really can't do much there, and good job there by Johnson, just not fouling. You just got to let it happen. Here's Rubin, and losing the handle as Lawrence, and now it's 3v1. Lawrence, it goes all the way up and scores. 10-point game for UChicago as Rubin goes down the other way. Musako thought about the 3, instead goes to QC. Oh, Lawrence, no, that's Cochran rather, just picked his pocket. Forced a fumble there like a linebacker. Here's Regan. And just like that, the Maroons will slow it down. Good basketball being played by them in the last couple minutes. Here's Barry coming off the off-ball screen. Met by 2, Cochran from downtown. That one no good. Somehow Roper over 3 defenders. Lawrence from downtown. That goes! Silencer as the lead extends to 13. And the crowd of UChicago fans with a sea of applause as we'll head to a short break as Coach Fareed's team will look to regroup. So a little over 9 minutes remaining. The Violets have all of a sudden gone down 13 to the Maroons, who have had a 3-point galore as everything's been falling for the Maroons offensively. And we'll see what Coach Reed told his side to get their head back into this game.
7-0 run for UChicago in the last minute and a half.
So we'll see what the holdup is. Looks like a substitution. Little mishap. Regan's like, I was trying to get back into this game. What's up with that? So
Regan a game high 23 points.
Garcia feeds Bickford. There to Declan McIntyre, who's getting his first couple minutes of this one. McIntyre has his man in the air. Right back to Bickford. And oh, that's Barry rather almost. Got the steal.
And it is an entirely fresh 5 after the timeout.
So no starters on the floor right now for Coach Fareed. I guess he got fed up with his starters.
Against a unit of almost exclusively starters for UChicago.
Here's Daniels showing off the bag. Tough bucket falls in his bag like a trick-or-treater. Great response there from the Violets. Cut the lead down to 11.
And was it about this point in the game in their last matchup where Andrew Waldman erupted for 3 straight threes?
Wide open in the corner, and Roper can't convert. Falling for the board is Bickford, but he stepped out. Good effort, but not enough.
Hard fall there for Bickford.
Here's Regan. Oh, off the back of Bigford. Disrespectful there. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah, you just have to foul there. You can't let him make that. That's making his highlight reel too.
High IQ play from the graduate.
That's making the compilation.
That's the veteran experience there from Shane Regan.
As Regan gets the first to fall. Lead back up to 12.
Lawrence will check out after a nice layup and three-pointer.
And Regan able to split a pair at the line. Violet's deficit just 12. These are huge possessions here down the stretch to cut down this lead. Here's Daniels trying to work Roper inside. Has his man in the air, and very smart basketball by Daniels. We'll have two at the line. And we'll be right back after this short break. So we're back with a little under 8 minutes of action remaining here in this second half. The Violets trying to put the pieces together to see if they can build up a comeback. And, they led, finishing it that first half. And, for the majority there of the opening second half, they looked in control. But the Maroons all of a sudden snatching that lead. And it's grown exponentially as well, 12-point lead. Daniel's chance to cut it to 10. As he's unable to convert after charity stripe on the first. So huge free throws here. And Daniels there splits a pair at the line. So lead now cut down to 11. That's a good double here from Daniels and Bickford, but too easy to be broken there by the Maroons. Here's Regan and tries to feed inside. Oh, wow. Sigurdsson in the air. Oh, Barry almost converts the three-point play.
And we just talked about it in the break, Brian. This is Chicago's first team against our second team right here.
It's a rather interesting look, when you're down 11, and might be an injury concern here from Barry, but he will make his way to the, oh no. Oh no. So there's some hold up here on the free throw attempt. I guess the ref trying to see if Barry's fit to take it.
Joe Barry, 2 shots.
First one falls. So as Barry able to connect on both at the charity stripe, the lead has grown to 13. Here's Garcia, feeds Bickford top of the key, and oh wow, breaking up that pass like a safety is Chicago. Pitt from downtown, that looks good. No, it is not, and that's going to be a foul against Violet's active presence there in the paint there by Roper.
Yeah, Violet's maybe just trying to force the issue offensively. Bickford give a forced pass there, and now Coach Free will put his starters back into the game.
Here's Barry, drives baseline, and out of bounds there is Cochran. And Spencer, you're seeing it a lot where U Chicago has been cross-court passing to that corner three on the near side, and Violet just can't defend it.
A lot of skip passes. They got lucky there with the foot out of bounds, but
Yeah, he was wide open.
yeah.
Had that not happen. Here's Johnson, finding QC there on the corner. As Ruben forced to put up a, oh wow, good feed inside to Koleje. Had us fooled from up here. Koleje, easy too.
I was waiting for that pass. Koleje, mismatch on Barry. Good feed from Ruben.
He sold it really well with the fake step back. And the lead cut down to 11. Still enough time to pull off the comeback if the Violets clean it up. Here's Roper, all the way inside. Oh, that's very tough there by Roper with the change of directions into the left-hand layup. Here's Carnegie, finding Ruben top of the key. Ruben wants a three. Will he get it? No, he won't. Lead still at 13 for the Maroons. The game clock winding down. Lead still remains. Barry finding Pitt. Good ball movement here to Regan, who drives down and met with two. Barry from way downtown. Oh my goodness! Hand in his face, not a problem. Target practice.
5 of 6 from downtown for Joe Barry.
Yeah, he's been on a tear. It's cold outside, but it's warm in here. Here's Johnson. That one blocked by Barry and saved. And Moose gets that right hand layup to go. It's a huge bucket. 14-point game. It'll stay U Chicago ball despite the pressure there from Carnegie Johnson.
Tall task ahead for NYU. 14 points. Just over 5 minutes to play.
Here's Roper looking for the curling Regan. It's a good matchup here for U Chicago as Crocker trying to bully Musako inside and one. Weight room, he said. Chance for the three-point play. As Cochran able to convert, and now it's a 17-point game, largest lead of the encounter so far. Here's Carnegie, and one. How about Johnson with the response? So that's a huge play there for the Violets that they're able to convert here and cut this down to a 14-point game.
Nice curl off the screen there from Johnson.
As he's able to convert the three-point play, lead cut down to 14. Violets back into that full court press, trying to force some turnovers. U Chicago breaks it nicely. Cochran wide open, Pitt inside. Can Clark defend? Yes, he can. Koleje, what a board.
Lucky break there from Clark. Got to be a little faster getting back.
Koleje, oh. Wow. Very quick shot into the possession.
I think they're feeling the pressure of this deficit here.
Here's Regan. Gets a switch on Clark. Inside pass to Pitt. Inside and won't go. Once again, U Chicago cannot connect. And here where the Violets need to take advantage and go on a little run. Here's Ruben. Gets his pockets picked, but he is fouled there by Regan. So both sides get a chance to talk it over. We'll be right back after this short break.
You're off.
So we're back from that short break. A little under 4 minutes remaining here in the second half as the lead is 14 in favor of the Maroons. As Ruben able to get the first one to fall. And gets the second one to follow after as lead cut down to 12. Oh, that's gonna go the other way. Good effort there from Carnegie Johnson, putting his body on the line. That's Ross Roper's fourth. So he's now in foul trouble, but kept in. So both sides need to be very careful with the fouls.
Couple boos from the crowd at that call.
As Quinn Clark now has a chance to cut this game to a 10-point deficit. As he's able to connect on the first. So this would be a big win here for UChicago as they are the front runners alongside Emory to win the UAA this year. And neither side really wants to drop a game when you have one more following this one for each side.
UChicago right now ranked 6th nationally, Emory 5th.
And Roper goes airborne there with a response.
How about the ball movement there from the Maroons, making it look easy. Unselfish pass to the cutting Roper.
Here's Johnson from deep. That goes. Good response there from Carnegie Johnson. Lead cut down to 9. A little under 3 minutes remaining, and this one's getting interesting. Oh, wow. Quick foul there from Quinn Clark, and that's immediately going to send Regan to the line. Just not the foul you want here at the Violets right now, especially a good free throw shooter who has 24 points and is shooting pretty well from the field. Able to connect. And wow, splitting a pair at the line, so the deficit is just 10. Every possession counts now for the Violets. None can come empty-handed. Here's Ruben, met with 2. Koleje thought about the 3, working his way inside, and layup will fall. Good bucket. Koleje wanted an extra free throw with that one, too. Here's Barry. And if you're UChicago, you definitely want to slow it down.
Absolutely try to chew off some clock here. Lawrence back in the game for the Maroons. Roper has checked out.
Inside look, wide open, and Pitt gets it to go. With an island of space, Pitt makes him pay. Here's Carnegie, finding Moose down on the opposite wing. Johnson from downtown, and that one won't go. Koleje, battle for the board. Johnson comes up with it, looking for Koleje from deep. Koleje, you need this. Oh, yes! Collegiate gets it to go from way downtown. Lead down to 7. That's brilliant effort there from Carnegie Johnson. Oh, Musaka overcommitted there, trying to go for the steal.
Do not need to foul here if you're the Violets. Pitt was flashing in the paint, was wide open.
Huge shot, and it's a silencer from Reagan, who hits the celebration as well as a follow. Here's Rubin. Does he get it to go? No. Clark, battle for the board. Moose somehow battles for it, and now it needs to be a 3.
Violets taking a little too long on this possession.
Way too long, and they lose the ball. Here is Lawrence, and that one will fall for Lawrence in transition. And like you said, too much time taken in that possession. As here's Rubin, tries to attack Lawrence, fading, firing. That one just dances around the rim, but doesn't go in. And just like that, the applause is felt from the UChicago fans who have traveled here to New York City in abundance and will escape with a much-needed victory in their title race for that UAA Conference Championship. Pull off a 12-point victory and a lot of difference making for them. I have to talk about Shane Reagan, who's just coming off a 22-point game, and today delivers with 28. And the Violets, on the other hand, will take 2 back-to-back conference losses here at home, as they will play next Saturday against Brandeis at 1 p.m., which will be their last game before tournament play if they're able to clinch their spot into the tournament as well. And that'll be a good match here, also brought to you in coverage at home as And with that, I'd like to thank you for tuning in today to today's broadcast, and a special thank you to our co-commentator today, Spencer Myers, Sean Natacarney, Jonathan Mack, Luciana, Benji, Spencer, and Sophia there down on the sideline. We will see you next weekend.